Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome back to Candy's Locker Room. This week's Week 7 recap will focus on 2 games. To start things off bad and end them well, we'll start with the Washington football team versus the Dallas Cowboys. The first quarter starts off all wrong for the Cowboys. Andy Dalton has the football and he's hit by Landon Collins, fumbles the ball, Schultz recovers it in the end zone, and then is hit in the end zone, causing a safety and giving the Washington football team 2 points right off the bat. After that, Gibson from the Washington football team scores a touchdown, and then the Dallas Cowboys kick a field goal, score 3, and leaves the first quarter hanging 3-9. After that, the Dallas Cowboys did not score again the entire game. But just bear with me a second. It gets a little bit worse. The second quarter, the Washington football team would go on to score 2 more touchdowns and a field goal in the third quarter. Oh, and one of those touchdowns in the second quarter was just casually run by McLaurin for 52 yards as Diggs from the Cowboys was just standing there in the twilight zone as the guy zoomed by him. With a scoreless fourth quarter, the Washington football team beat the Dallas Cowboys 3-25. That's right, Dallas Cowboys flew all the way to Washington to kick a field goal. 3-25, I mean, come on. Oh, and did I mention things got a lot worse too? Andy Dalton went out of the game with the injury, but we'll get into that later. My second recap is my game of the week, the Steelers versus the Titans. See, I like that I can smile when I say that because it was actually a good game. So the Steelers led the first quarter with 2 touchdowns, leading 14-0. In the second quarter, the Titans tried to come close and score a touchdown, but the Steelers answered that with a touchdown and a 3-point field goal, bringing the score in the second quarter 7-24. After the half is where things get a little interesting in this game. Okay, the Steelers score a field goal, but then the Titans quarterback Tannehill throws a short pass to Brown and he scores a blazing 72-yard touchdown. It must be nice to have a scoring team, let alone, a decent quarterback that can throw such a pass and, utilize some good receivers. Wonder if they're looking for any fans. Trying to catch up, the Titans score again, bringing the score 24-27, but it wasn't enough. The Steelers still defeated the Titans 24-27. So now the Steelers are still the only team in the league that's undefeated. And a matter of fact, they are 6-0, meaning that this is the second time in their team history that this has been done. Now it's time for Candy's flag on the play. My first flag on the play is quite upsetting. During the Dallas Cowboys game, Dalton was sliding to avoid a collision, and here comes a ball stick from the Washington football team and just rams into Dalton helmet to helmet and knocks Dalton's helmet off a couple of yards, and Dalton is just lying there, and everyone from that moment could pretty much tell that he probably had a concussion. Even Bostic's teammates was looking at him like, why did you make that hit? Why did you do that? It was just a dirty play, and they ejected Bostic from the game, rightfully so, and he was looking like, wow. Actually, you could see him saying, wow. Yeah, man, that's illegal. You can't do that in the game. And why would you do it? My next flag on the play is Gabe Jackson of the Oakland Raiders and Sue, again, from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last week, I believe I brought up Sue, and he got into something on the field with, I forgot, one of those quarterbacks. But anyway, there was some type of scuffle on the field between the teams, and I'm sure Gabe Jackson threw some sort of punch, but so did the other guys. But you see Sue just dragging this big old guy, Gabe Jackson, out and just pulls him out of the fight and slams him down like he's a kid. Well, Gabe Jackson is the one who got kicked out of the game, ejected from the game, and everyone was wondering, well, a couple of people wondered, why? Why was he the only one that was singled out? It's time for Candy's Hot Shot of the Week, Team Edition. My Hot Shot of the Week, Team Edition, is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I saw their game, and I saw this cute little thing that they did in the end zone, and I'm like, you know what? I actually really like their uniforms. My other Hot Shot of the Week was Devin White of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had his car, his white Rolls Royce in his picture, his outfit kind of matched the sky, and it all reminded me of Drake's album cover to Nothing Was the Same. It's now time for Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac is something that's going to be going on for this week and probably next week as well, because there's trades and cuts going on, and there's a couple of vets that have returned to the game. One of those vets that we're going to be talking about is Dez Bryant and Antonio Brown. I don't have his jersey, but I'll get one. If you're up on football, you know that Antonio Brown used to be the highlight of the Steelers football team. Then he went to the Oakland Raiders and very briefly to the Patriots, where he played with Tom Brady. Well, now him and Tom Brady are reunited, and it feels so good, I'm sure, to the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans, because Brady has recruited the Avengers. He has a whole squad, a beautiful lineup. And once Antonio Brown gets to play with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I don't know. They may be on the same level with the Steelers as far as wins, because that is a team of Avengers, to say the least. After 2 years of staying consistent, working out, and hoping to be back in the NFL, Dez Bryant makes his return to the NFL with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this is interesting because in 2018, the Baltimore Ravens offered Dez Bryant a $30 million deal, but he turned it down. I guess his mind has changed, times has changed, and he has expressed that he's very fond of the quarterback, Lamar Jackson, for the Baltimore Ravens. So maybe they will become a dynamic duo. Are y'all ready to get into these trades? The theme of this portion is love them and leave them. I really hate how right now it seems as if the football players are just disposable. If they're hurt, if they have a bad game or two, then it's just get rid of them. It's been a really weird season. There was COVID, the Black Lives Matter movement, not a regular off season for the guys. A lot of them did not get to train how they regularly would. It wasn't really a long training camp season. So there's a lot of injuries going on. There's a lot of people that I personally feel aren't playing up to their full potential, because this has been a really weird and heavy and hectic year and a really crazy off season for them. And I don't know if these teams, these owners, these coaches, the fans are taking that into accountability here. I'm not trying to make any excuses for the teams or the players, but I'm just saying this is not a regular football season. I feel like everybody should know that. But do they know that? Do the Dallas Cowboys know that? My team? Because they are treating my boys like they are just disposable. Everson, Poe, Worley, the list just goes on of people that have been cut, traded, and so on. And I'm afraid that list is going to grow before the trade deadline gets here in November. Again, the Dallas Cowboys have had a lot of injuries. Dak Prescott, our starting quarterback, is out. The offensive line has so many injuries, is just unbelievable at this point. Our defensive backs are weak as heck. And a lot of fans have been saying that hiring Mike Nolan was a joke and that we were better off with the defensive coaches that we had last year. I mean, a lot of fans are bringing the hatchet down on the defensive coach. They're saying, where's the play calling at? We were better off with the coaches last season. The Cowboys need help on defense, offense, coaching, leadership. And speaking of leadership, you guys hear about Jerry Jones on the radio show. He responded to a question about where's the leadership? Do you see leadership lacking on the team? And he just gets frustrated and says, shut up, let me answer the question. No. It's time for Candy's Q&A. My first question was, who is your favorite rookie? CeeDee Lamb, of course. I really like this question. Is Antonio Brown going to go crazy again this year? If Antonio Brown has trained how Antonio Brown used to train, Antonio Brown is without a doubt going to go crazy this year, because this man, let me tell you, his training techniques were insane. He even practiced gymnastics as part of his technique. My third question of my 5 Q&A questions was, will the Jets win a game this season? Yeah, if they forfeit. The Jets are 0-7 right now. It's not looking good. This was kind of a combo 1-2 punch question. Will the Cowboys beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and what do they have to do to become first in the NFC East again? I think it depends on what these cuts and trades are going to do for the Cowboys, how it's going to benefit us, because right now the Eagles are 2-4. They're at the top of the NFC East, and we are tied with the Washingtons at 2-5. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Candy's Locker Room. As always, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Candy's Locker Room. Follow my Instagram, Candy's Locker Room, and leave me your comments, your feedback. Tell me hello, and thank you guys for watching.